Hey folks, your OS Reviews. You're watching our video review of the Touch Gloves. These are an inexpensive pair of gloves for you to wear in the winter time. It's a one-size-fit-all, and it works with any capacitive touchscreen display on iPads, on iPhones, on Windows phones, and also Android devices. And it's just not going to work with resistive touchscreens, but modern-day smartphones should all work fine with these pair of gloves. So unless you have a really special device that comes advertised with a really sensitive screen, this is going to allow you to touch and access the function on your display without having to remove your gloves when you're using it outdoors in the snow. So it's going to be nice here in the wintertime. What's really going on here is that this is a conductive tip on the front, so whenever you're using it on your fingers, it's going to allow you to touch the screen using your thumb and also your index finger on both hands, your left and right hands, which is pretty useful, again, if you want to text or call or take pictures out in the cold and you don't want to remove, again, your hands from the glove. So it's a nice way to be more comfortable when accessing your mobile content. Taking a look at the design, it's very generic. It's priced at only about $5 retail, and you can get it on Amazon. Wide range of different colors to select from gray to black to white, green, and blue, and all of them are priced at the same range. So pretty inexpensive for that cost, and it works again for both guys and for girls. Packaging is pretty simple. We just have this little tag here. It says Touch Gloves, I can touch, and the back just gives a bit of a description here, including the fact that you can now keep your gloves on and touch your device. It says this is an ingenious design, keeps your hand warm, and allows you to touch the screen at the same time, all with all devices like a passive touchscreen type. Surprisingly well-written English for a product manufactured in China, which is pretty good. And finally, we have the gloves. Now, when we were actually testing these gloves out, one disappointing factor that we did come across was the fact that the gloves are very, very tight. Because it is a one-size-fit-all, it works for both guys and for girls, the actual gloves themselves are quite small, and so they require a bit of a stretch. They will fit with most hands, but because they are really, really tight, they also kind of prevent circulation in some instances. I have rather large hands, and so when I wear these gloves personally, they prevent kind of circulation from going to some of my fingers, and ironically my hands get a little bit cold when I'm wearing these just because it cuts off the blood flow, so that's something to take note of. Perhaps there's a larger version somewhere, but for these universal pair, they are a bit small for my tastes. But again, you have a lot of different colors to select from. They are very, very inexpensive, and to a large extent, they do work very, very well. And unlike some homemade gloves that you can make be capacitive by putting in a capacitive needle or a thread needled and using your own kit, this version here is very discreet. You actually can't tell the difference except for its white. There aren't any threads that you can tell that are specifically designed, which is pretty nice. And again, it does work with basically any device. So we have a Android phone here. You can see how if we use another finger that's not particularly sensitive, it's not going to actually work, but with the specially designed part, it's very, very sensitive, and it's easy to actually tap on the screen, and it will register taps very, very well. So as far as working as advertised, it does a great job doing that. We have no problems with interacting with the display. It's very sensitive, and gloves themselves are also a bit on the thinner side of the spectrum, so we found that sometimes we didn't even need to wear the special conductive tips or have the tips touching the screen for the touchscreen to work. When we use some of the other non-conductive tips, sometimes touchscreens would register as well, and this really depends on your device. Some products that are more finicky tend to only recognize the conductive tips, but other ones that are more sensitive in touchscreen seem to also register the taps using the other fingers as well, which is a bit strange. We have a Kindle Fire HD 7-inch here, and you can see how it works really well with the conductive side, but sometimes if you can also get some of the other fingers to work. It's not working on camera at the moment, but it's interesting because it seems like the gloves are kind of thin, and probably letting the conductivity increase on the other fingers as well. Overall, as far as quality is considered, the gloves are pretty well made. The seams are pretty tight, and it feels like it's a nice and comfortable pair of gloves. It's on the thinner side of the spectrum, so it's not going to be the most weather-resistant glove in the world. So if you do want something that's going to be resistant to super low temperatures out in the winter blizzard or something like that, these gloves are not going to be perfect for that, but they will allow you to use your smartphone or tablet out in the cold. Overall, they work as advertised. They're pretty nice and comfy. They're soft, and they don't irritate the skin when you wear them for long periods of time. Just note that they're on the smaller side of the spectrum, but I think that overall, users and customers will be satisfied. You can find out a full written review on our website. Thanks for watching this video review here at OS Reviews.